Secret friends, unite!
Hey, secret friends, welcome back to the Secret Friends Unite podcast. This is episode 554 of Oops All Thunderdome, when we take a topic and turn it up one side and down one side the other. I am joined by one of my esteemed regular co-hosts, Joe Colton. Joe, how are you doing today?
Good evening. I'm feeling quite stranger than ever.
Oh, stranger than ever. That's right. The hit Netflix series Stranger Things, like Perfect Strangers.
Yeah.
Stranger Things has come to an end. Just a few days ago, really, when you're listening to this. So we are here to talk all about that. Give you our thoughts on the final season, talk about the finale, talk about, I had some notes about the proposed spinoff, though I don't have all the details. It's a little fuzzy. But yeah, we're going to kind of turn that upside down and wrong side the other. Upside, would turn it upside over? Upside over?
Right side up. Right
side up. We're going to turn it right side up. But before I do that, I do want to give some love and respect to the wonderful people over on our Secret Friends Unite Patreon at patreon.com/Secret Friends Unite. That is the place where you find all of our shows in perpetuity. We have a lot of exclusive programming there that you can only find on Patreon. All of our shows come out early. For example, you're listening to this show on a Thursday. Patreon's got it on Tuesday. Don't want to miss out. And a channel exclusive for our Discord patrons as well. Your first week is free. Your first month, 50% off. You can stay on board for as little as $2 a month. So you're losing money by not doing it because there's so darn much entertainment there. Patreon.com/Secret Friends Unite. All right, let's get into it.
Okay.
Stranger Things season 5 wrap up. Now I want to tell you we're going full spoilers on this. If you're a fan, dyed in the wool, you've probably already seen it. But if you haven't, now's a good time to pause. Come back to us.
Yes.
After you have, so that we don't trip you up. But if you've never heard of Stranger Things, I'm going to give you like the teeny weeniest little primers here. So the show has been around since 2016. This is the end of the 5th season, which kicked off on November 26th. And then they had 4 episodes at that time. On Christmas Day, there were 3 more episodes, and the finale dropped on New Year's Eve. So it was like bing, 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 bing. Gave everybody a chance to get caught up. Cast of gazillions, Winona Ryder, David Harbour, Millie Bobby Brown, Finn Wolfhard, Gaiman Mozzarella Stick. What is that kid's last name? Mazzarano? I don't know.
I can't pronounce it either.
I know. A lot of people have just really become famous. Sadie Sink, Natalia Dyer, Cara Buono, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of new, pretty scary faces, too. A lot of people liked the season. Critics were, well, hello, and we have a visitor. Good thing we're not on video. Joe's daughter slid in a sec. What are you doing, Mom?
I mute her. She's like, hi.
Oh, we've had Mark Coy used to record our Star Wars show with his son. Would sometimes happen by, or we do a segment with him. He was pretty.
She's
cute
like,
kid.
hello, what you doing? And then left.
Oh my goodness. So anyway, critics, there are critics who loved it, praising the emotional weight, the visual effects, the action, the soundtrack. The soundtrack of the show never really lets you down. There are some people who nitpicked it because that's natural. And there was, of course, critical criticism. I certainly hope so. But anyway, let's get into it. Spoiler alert, we're just a few minutes in, but let's talk about some things that you enjoyed about the season, and then, get more granular, talk about the finale. Just take it away.
So from the entire season, I liked the threads that they kept pulling at. I did like that. I loved that Max did not die.
Right.
And I love that Steve Harrington did not die.
That was one thing. And again, I went back and forth between being super psyched that they didn't kill people off left and right. But I also went back and forth, particularly in the finale, that they set it up with all of these. You're familiar with the concept because I say it all the time of the buddy cop moment, where two characters who are at odds have a long speech where they patch things up and then one of them dies almost immediately.
Yes.
But I swear in the finale and maybe even in the last few episodes everybody had one. Mm-hmm. You had one with Nancy and Jonathan Byers.
Yeah.
You had one.
I could have been okay if he died. He was so useless.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's funny because we're rewatching. We spent all of New Year's Day where we finished it. And we're like, let's just start the show over again. So we just started season 3 watching in the last 2 days. We didn't do anything yesterday. We were just just going to watch Stranger Things. And when it got dark, I started a fire in the fireplace and we just kept watching Stranger Things.
Nice.
So I'm a little more informed on it now because I got to tell you, I don't remember a day. Starting season 3. I don't remember anything.
Oh, wow.
Because
okay.
the show was on over 9 years. Season 4 was on 3 years ago. And it was 2 years before that season 3 was on. So it's easy to forget with so much content that we all watch.
Yeah. So I will say the best thing that they did that I love is that the bad guy stayed the bad guy. He didn't do the flip with the redemption, because all bad characters now have to have this redemption.
And they kind of teetered on the brink too.
Yes. Yeah. And they gave the option and he went, nope. And I was like, yes, stay that effing villain. Because sometimes people just want to see the world burn. And did it.
Yeah, the last time I can remember that, I don't know if you follow The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
But in the 3rd season with the governor in the prison and they're all masked outside the gates of the prison and Rick's trying to talk him down and there's this pause and he says, liar. And he just lops off poor Herschel's head. I'm like, that's a bad, he's got a story and he's sticking with it. Yep. You're right. You're right. No, absolutely.
But everything nowadays, grew up bad. That's why we understand. And now there's the redemption. Felt hurt.
Everybody's got to be a good guy.
Yeah. Or an anti-hero, right? The Punisher's not really bad. He's an anti-hero. Black Adam's not really bad. He's an anti-hero. Dexter's not really bad, but
yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly.
He is bad.
Bad is bad. Well, that's very 80s. You know what I mean? So that in itself really inserts its show into its setting, because in the 80s, Freddy Krueger didn't have a redemption arc. He was just killing kids for 19 movies. They weren't going to be like, oh, but Freddy, your childhood, and here's the bunny rabbit you had when you were a little baby, and oh no, I regret everything. Yeah, and it didn't happen. Sometimes, villains it's kind of like they say, men used to be men. Bad guys used to be bad guys.
Yes, and we're fun to be bad. Loved being bad guys. It was fun to be a bad guy. Right.
It wasn't even like in the Marvel movies where with Thanos, he was like, oh, he's got some motivations and blah, blah, blah. And he really does care about Gamora, but in the end, he still threw her off a cliff, but he was crying when he did it. So he was conflicted. There was no conflict with Vecna. He was all bad all the time, murdering people. So it was, again,
and
things
children and adults alike. No,
he killed like a dog or something along the way, didn't he?
Sure,
or a cat.
Did.
Push somebody's grandma in front of a bus. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah,
it was all bad. So my favorite character of the season and new character is Derek, because oh my God,
dipshit Derek.
He was a chubby kid with great hair. which was the same as I was at that age.
Okay.
He was a bully. I was not a bully. I was bullied because I was a chubby kid with great hair. And he loved G.I. Joe, which speaks to you and me. You and I love G.I. Joe.
I saw the poster immediately.
Yes, and he had the lunchbox. 1987 is a little past the prime of G.I. Joe because the prime was like 84, 85. But you know, that's okay. That's okay. His numerous, exaltations of Suck My Fat One and flipping Vecna off was great. But the extremely well-timed when Vecna as Henry is holding him down and he sees that Derek has the map. And then he says, "Where did you get this map?" And he says, "I got it from your mom."
He had great one-liners.
I said best character of the entire series, maybe? I don't
know about that. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I was very, 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 very fond of Derek. Also, super psyched about Karen Wheeler. Holy crap.
So, my other favorite thing was give it to the moms in season 5.
Yeah, my God. So, yeah.
Did you see the script?
No. What do you mean?
So the script shows where it says Karen Wheeler puts oxygen tank into laundry.
3 of them.
Closes doors. Closes door, flips knob to extreme heat. Right?
Yeah.
So, and then smoke clears, there's an explosion, whatever, and it says smoke clears. Karen Wheeler. I love that they put that in their script.
She was, first of all, and this was kind of breaking the bonds of the character. She's been, an alcoholic the entire show. Always glass of wine. Shattered her glass of wine and said, "Stay away from my kid." Yeah. Stabbed that demo dog before it slashed her across the throat and left her for dead.
Yeah.
And then she lives.
Yeah.
And then in the hospital, what you just described went down. And then at the end of the show, when we have the time jump and the younger kids are graduating, you see, and I saw this was a great meme I saw. She's sitting there in this very 80s blouse, scar across her face and her chest. She says, like the fucking warrior that she is.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. She did
that shit with pride, sir.
Yeah. That was absolutely awesome. Yeah. Absolutely awesome. All right. What else? What else did you love?
I loved that. Okay, so I expected Joyce to die.
Sure.
But I am glad because I was like, why is she wearing this axe and doing nothing and wildly swinging in the barn? But I am glad and ecstatic that she was the one that killed him in the end because she's the one who lost more than even Will, right?
Right.
Will got lost. She she thought he died, losing a kid as a mom, then all the children that she had to take care of, then losing her second love, then almost losing Hopper, then her adopted extended family. She's been in the know and has only had, not only, but she's been the worrier throughout the entire series.
Right. The den mother. Yeah, exactly. And while I would admit it's a little, she did get the big kill and the corny catchphrase, and it was kind of but you know what?
80s plastic.
Yeah, it's very much, it's very much, dropping Hans Gruber off the Nakatomi Plaza. You know what I mean? It's yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Exactly. But yeah, I wrote a note too about Henry and the layers. I did like it that his deep-seated trauma was like this Indiana Jones Boy Scout moment. That was very 80s.
I liked his inability to want to see in the cave. He was so scared. I love how he played that. But yes, that was very Indiana Jones. I do appreciate the because all the boys back then loved Indiana Jones. And I'm sure a lot of kids wanted to be Indy and join the Boy Scouts because of Indiana Jones.
So you go have an adventure and find Coronado's cross in the cave. It belongs in a museum. Gosh, what else? So I love that.
Okay.
And I loved, but simultaneously hated, but did love the whole red herring of the buddy cop speech. So yeah, they're, I love you, man. I love you, man. And then somebody gets hit by a truck. But I like, it's kind of a double-edged sword because at the end of it, if all of that went down and it kind of felt like the stakes were low, because we can get into that more later. Like it just didn't. It felt like it maybe would have stuck a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they would have killed somebody else. So here's my question to you. This is kind of a side quest. Whose death do you think would have made sense if they did decide to kill somebody off?
If they decided to kill somebody off, I'd say it would have been okay to do Jonathan.
Okay. Which reason? Because you don't like him.
Well, no, it's not that I don't like him. He saved Steve Harrington, right? But anyone could have, you replace it with Lucas,
right?
Who's fast and the athlete, an athlete, saving a former athlete. I think that would have been fine, but also hurt a lot of the characters. So
yeah.
Because he's Will's brother, so Will loses another person, and he also took care of Nancy and was her significant other. And even though Steve and him didn't get along, they were like frenemies. So I'm sure that would have been yet another person that Steve lost as a frenemy, because Eddie became a frenemy, right? So,
right. And that was Dustin's big arc, is that he just was so unable to, and how could you let go of that trauma, and that's why he was so mad, because Steve was her, because I'm watching season 3, and that's when he and Steve are very close, and they got very close at the end of season 2. So moving on to the nits that I will pick.
Okay.
So they brought back Kali, who was the other psionic, and she's been around since season 2, and kind of in and out, but. And I'm sure a lot of people are picking this apart, and maybe when we get back to watching that again, because again, like I said, we're watching all of it again now, so I'll probably see this again in less than a week if we keep plugging away watching it. But I feel like, because the whole thing is that it's pointed out that she uses her powers to obscure Elle from all of the army guys, so that Elle can slide out the side and then go hide under a bunch of, like Homer Simpson says, I'll hide under a pile of coats and then just hope everything works out. And then because you're supposed to believe, or they're supposed to believe, that when the Upside Down collapses, it's kind of like, the rebels flying out of the Death Star, and then everything falls apart, that she somehow managed to die in that as opposed to escaping. So, but it seemed like she got shot and died back in. Okay. Break it down for me.
All right. So, you know how Elle is not supposed to lie and can't look at Harper when he confronts her about them staying on the bridge and not coming back?
Yeah.
And so she admits it, right? Because she can't lie.
Right.
So when Kali, quote, dies, it's an illusion.
So was she shot?
She was shot.
And she does die.
She doesn't die then.
Oh, okay.
They telepathically, from what I'm guessing, is that she changes her mind not to kill Hopper, because she now understands that Hopper wants the best and wants her to have a life, wants Elle to have a life. So Kali doesn't shoot him. And so she makes up her mind that she is going to fake her death and stay there and then help Elle escape, and no one knows that she's alive.
Oh, right. Which is why she goes...
die, right?
Yeah,
she dies. So Wes and I were talking about this. That's why Mike gets pulled back. So whenever he talks to Elle in the upside down, or the water,
basically the waiting room,
the waiting room,
the flooded, we'll call it the flooded basement.
Yes,
it's that you got like an inch of water in your basement. It's happened to everybody before you end up getting a sump pump, which we have here. But in my last house we did, I lost some shit when it was like way higher than an inch. But
When she does that to him, when they end, like when that finishes, he doesn't get pulled back. It kind of like disintegrates.
Okay.
But when that wave comes and takes Callie or Collie, she actually dies and he gets yanked out of that.
Okay.
So
what happened to Will's powers?
Vecna's no longer existent.
So
the spores leave.
He didn't really have powers. He was some kind of very good.
He was a vessel, yeah,
because that was a nit. A lot of people. Now I sound like Trump. I'm so sorry. A lot of people are saying, but I've heard a lot of people saying, and I don't necessarily disagree. That do you feel like all the action-packed shit, like them fighting the Mind Flayer and like the final conclusion where, Joyce gets her like, Merry Christmas, whack, and cuts his head off, that like they jump to the 18 months later portion. Like, was it too long? Could they have done more in the action part of it?
Like Demogorgons back, Demo back. Like they were everywhere. Like I've talked about this with several people now. Where are the henchmen?
Right. They all went out to get straight jobs. They're teaching now.
So Wes asked me that, and I was
Uber
like,
drivers.
Well, Vecna never expected them to go to Dimension X and fight him there. Like
Dimension X, right?
Right, like the Abyss, right? Like there's
the
no
Abyss,
way.
Yeah, the rocks.
Yeah,
the rocks.
What baddie would expect that, right? Like he's safe there. It's like desolate. So that's why you didn't call him. I think they should have had to fight through them to get to the spider or the Mind Flayer. But it could have been more like action packed a little bit more. Granted, Nancy Wheeler being the bait is great, and her turning into Rambo was amazing.
All the kids were. It was just watching them walk. Like one of them's got a flamethrower, another one's got a sword. Yeah. There's the classic bat with the. They were the kids from Red Dawn.
Yes,
Wolverines. Yeah. Which is super 80s because and we just started in season 3. It was the Russians were the bad guys, so it's like they've got all of the just kind of crammed it all back in there. I just absolutely love it.
But they could have done more. I don't know if I think they did drag out. It was a lot of conversation when we should be walking. Like when we should be running, there's like a lot of like conversation. Stop and have like a
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the soliloquies. Like, come
on. It was pointed out that how in the hell did Max graduate from high school after being in a coma for 2 years?
Yes, I don't know.
I don't know. You know what? Yeah,
maybe she's a genius and did everything in a year.
That's exactly what I wrote, and I know this is one of these. We can't have them talking about what they saw, but how come Hopper and all the kids get off scot-free by the army for all of the people that they killed?
So,
because the army's just like, all right, well, we're gonna leave now. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, not only do they not get arrested or whatever, there's no debrief. There's no one following them for the rest of their lives. Like,
right.
They're
just like, well, things didn't work out, so we're gonna leave. We're gonna go home now. Goodbye.
Yeah. Linda Hamilton
just takes off. Yeah, exactly.
You have no use to me whatsoever.
It just seems like there would have been a little more of a transitional, okay, well,
they apparently had 4.5 hours filmed.
Oh my god!
And they had to cut it down, which I suspect was a Netflix decision because it was very at times choppy. I don't know if the pace for you was kind of like in and out, but at some points, like I was like taken out of like the immersiveness of the entire season.
That's
because
fair.
I was like, wait, what? Like it's just
Yeah. And then my final note is, and I know this is like, well, you can't really do anything about it, but I was left a little speechless. In 2016, you had all these kids who were 12. There were 9 years of production set across 6 years of in-universe time, in which case 2 years the kids didn't seem to age at all. But all of the cast looks absolutely awful. They all look like they're in their mid-30s. I mean, Millie Bobby Brown in particular, I'm watching her in the beginning, then I'm looking at her now, I'm like, she and she's 22. She looks like she's 32.
She also has had some work done. So
Yeah.
she's
That
such
young.
a beautiful, beautiful young lady. But apparently, like from what I've read, a
Oh,
lot of the
no.
young actors or young people in general, young ladies, are like messing with their faces and doing like skin
That's
routines in like
so
their teens
unfortunate.
and early 20s, where your skin doesn't need that. It just needs moisturizer. That's it. Like, stop chemical peels, stop fillers, stop
Oh,
Botox,
my
stop
God.
like the what is it, the blood injections that people do to rejuvenate, like, or the like anti wrinkle creams. So it's like it's
Wrinkles, Jesus, I'm turning 50 and I barely have wrinkles. And so, in April too, we just
it's
finally start using that shit. I'm not
it's
22
it's crazy. Some of the people that I know that are younger than me look like they are my age or older.
because
And
they're
I'm just
messing with they're
they're
messing with the
messing with their
formula.
faces. Yeah.
Oh my God. So I feel bad. I don't want to put down Millie Bobby Brown as a person,
No, but all of them look like
yeah.
the only one that I think is fine because she doesn't look like she changed other than aging naturally was Sadie.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she looks she looks very much the same as when you met her in season 2. I
Yeah.
don't think she looks very different at all.
And Nancy Wheeler. She looks
Yeah.
like a gradual, like, but they're all gorgeous, like
Yeah, I know.
men
I just
and
feel
women, but it's just
yeah. I just I feel really poorly for Millie Bobby Brown. Like
Yeah.
you said, such a pretty girl, but because of the standards that exist out there,
Mhm.
that she feels the need to do that. So I think, I don't know.
She's
It
also
makes me,
addressed it. Like she has said online, and she's did a video, I think, recently about like older people like in their 50s, like telling her that she like what to do with her face. And like why she looks so old or so big. And I'm like, you're aging yourself, because when you're in your 40s, you're going to look 60 and be pulling
right,
skin for no
right.
reason.
And you're going to end up looking like, like
Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan for a lot of years, or Courtney Cox. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And again, I feel bad talking about the way somebody else looks, but I just think, why just let nature take its course.
Yeah, it also took me her costumes. I know what one, like The Outsiders and like, or
Right.
The Goonies or whatever.
It was Josh Brolin's outfit from the Goonies.
The Goonies.
Yeah.
But even still, like I have a large forehead and she's got a large forehead. So
Right.
pulling that back and making everything just focusing on just her head constantly was a lot.
You know who she looks like? You can't see it. MODOK. She looks like MODOK.
I was gonna say Lex Luthor, but we can go with MODOK.
Oh my God. Well, she still kept all her hair. So anyway, I feel bad about that. But yeah, these kids just aged really poorly. And it's funny when you think about other shows where they have to have a kid and then recast the kid, like on Star Trek The Next Generation with Worf's son.
Mhm.
He was born Alexander, and then he's one kid, and then a year later they bring him back and he's a different kid.
Yeah.
And then they end up bringing him back in DS9 and he's an adult, but he only should be about 10. You know what I mean? Or so. You know what I mean? So
I think he was supposed to be like 12 or 13, but he's like this 20-year-old.
Exactly. Yeah. So, there's an alien race. Maybe it was because he was a quarter human because his mother was half human.
Yeah.
His aging was all screwed up. He was Benjamin Button. I have no idea.
That's great.
Oh my gosh. But all right, let's talk about the spinoff.
Okay.
I'm hearing a lot of different things. What have you heard? And then I'll give you my thought about just what I think in general.
So I've seen this weird timeline for their like universe. And there's gonna be a spinoff of a paranormal investigations team, and it's gonna be Steve and what's his name? Dustin.
Dustin.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that there's a spinoff that is Tales of 85, which is the animated series.
Yes, I did see. Is that out or is that in production?
It's not out yet, but it takes place between season 2 and 3, which I don't know
which is where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to rewatch right now.
I don't know why you're doing that. And then there's also a spin-off book that'll take place between is it 4 and 5 or 3 and 4? It is Robin and Nancy investigating some stuff, but it's a novel.
So this makes me, and I already mentioned The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I love The Walking Dead. Now, I watched it almost from when it started. So this was back in 2010, 2011. And it was the first 4 or 5 years, absolutely fantastic. Then they had a first spinoff, which was unrelated, but set in the same universe.
Yeah.
They shared a character here and there, but never really crossed over. But right now, the original show, like any show, just continued to kind of decline in quality. But then it's sprung up with 5 different spinoffs.
Yeah.
And I wrote, this was AMC milking the cow until the cow turns to dust. You know what I mean? So that's the vibe I'm getting here, because what you just described, it was like, why? We wrapped up a story.
Yeah.
We did it with the bow. The evil that started in season 1 evolved through until we finally realized that there was a central, Lord Palpatine kind of bad guy. And then in the end of it, he was bad and they killed him, and then they destroyed, they blew up the Death Star, and which was funny because there was Death Star references in this as well. And it's over. So, but nobody can just, because they're like, but we like money, and there's more money in this, So
what the Duffers have said is that they want to do a new story with entirely new characters set in that universe with like ramifications or things that are connected to the Upside Down, but it's not going to have the original cast. Now, the thing that I saw was them standing, and I don't know if it's an AI image. I've seen it a couple times on social media, but it's after. So the buddy cop, investigation paranormal thing is after Hawkins.
Different buddy cop.
Yeah. So it's
a show where that's all they do is have buddy cop speeches. Yeah.
Yeah. But they investigate paranormal things, and it's just them two. So I don't know if that's that's obviously not going to be connected to the original. So
the first thing that if they did, and I don't know if you and I have talked about this, but did you follow the It spinoff, the Welcome to Derry?
No, I have not seen it yet.
And I won't say too much about it, but if you're a fan of the films, it worked within the same universe, but it created layers to a story where there was a twist at the end that made it all not even really a prequel. So I would say go watch it, because it's definitely worth your time. We talked about it on the show.
I'm so terrified of Pennywise. Not the clown, the alien entity or demon or whatever he is.
I totally get it. If you ever decide to muster up the courage, I think you'll be impressed by it. It's a really well done story.
Okay.
But my point in that was they have it set up so uniquely that this season took place in 1962, and we know that the Pennywise demon entity reemerges every 27 years, so they're going to go backwards.
Okay.
But they do establish, I don't want to spoil it, but there's something revealed about Pennywise that makes it not a prequel, which is I think makes it very interesting. So in that spirit, let's say they did, now they jump forward to Hawkins, and it's now, or it's 20 years later, and guess what? The Upside Down is back because it's an ecosystem and it recovered, and it's gonna, and Vecna regrew, or Vecna had a spinoff, or you find out that he planted something in Will that made Will evil. I don't know, or something like that. You know what I mean? So that there would have to be a new generation, like the Losers Club in it, that has to fight it all again. But kind of taking all these characters and being like, now we're having a wacky spinoff in New York City and blah 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 blah. So
I don't know if you caught this, but Hopper and Joyce are going to move to Montauk, and Montauk is the actual place where in real life they did experiments, the government experiments. And so they're doing it to be closer to the kids, but I thought it was a really nice nod. Now, I don't know if he is now, if they're going to do something else from up there. Cause there's a lot of stories, unsolved mysteries type, supernatural stuff. So I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see. I don't even like that I do like this, and I feel really. I don't like that the Broadway show is only in Broadway.
Right. It's funny. We're going to New York in April, and April's like, tickets are the low end tickets are $60. We might actually go see it.
Oh, I'm I want them to come here because like there's no way we can like get on a train, go with the little one, go see the show, come back. Like
that's actually, it's because we're going to my mom's.
Okay.
Maybe we'll see you guys when we're out there because it's not too far away. But we're going to do an overnight trip and take the train, which I've never done, which I think sounds very exciting.
It is very nice. You'd like it.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. We're doing that for the cruise is my 50th birthday. That is April's 50th birthday, first week of April. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, okay. So to kind of wind this down.
Okay.
Your score for season 5, 1 to 10, with as much oratory as you wish to do to follow.
All of season 5 or just the finale?
I'll tell you what. We'll split the difference.
Okay.
Give me 2.
Okay.
Give me season 5. Give me the finale.
All right. I am going to say for season 5. Also, I'm very mad they didn't bring Eddie back for anything.
You got to see him die in a flashback, which is a bummer. So hey, you know what? At least the Human Torch got a check for that. You know what I mean? Hopefully he didn't burn it up.
Yes. And what's her name? The friend that died in the pool in season 1.
Barb. Who
was the catapult for Nancy Wheeler becoming Rambo.
The catalyst or a catapult.
Yeah, catapult. Yes. Catalyst. Okay, catalyst. So two numbers. Okay. For all of season 5, I would say an 8. Because
that's the number that I picked.
What? Okay.
8's a good number.
It is a good number because there was a lot of roller coasters, a lot of like they took liberties and also took leaps with things, like they actually allowed Will to do some shit, which was great.
Right.
Like
the kid who didn't even it seemed like he never had anything to do ever. Yeah.
Yeah. The last episode I'd say was a 7.
Okay.
It landed, but it didn't blow my socks off.
Right. Yeah,
it was a better ending than Game of Thrones. Like it didn't do that. It didn't destroy the entire series. It was a good ending, but nobody died. The battle after
the stakes were low.
Yeah.
There were no consequences. Right.
After the mind flare, Elle came, the Superman, right? Came in, knocked out Vecna, but all of the other guys were just standing around, running down to get inside, and then what? You just had to then it was over, and then they just got the kids, and I'm like, there's nothing else? Like, you had no henchmen, you had no
consequences with the army guys. Because why didn't the army guys just shoot all of them? What was to stop them from killing all of them?
Well, they couldn't get to Dimension X, but when they came back,
when they came back, they're all standing around. I mean, why didn't even just Sarah Connor just pull out her sidearm and shoot everybody in the back of the head?
She didn't know if they were all infected, if it was just Elle. She needed, nothing happened. Like, they didn't have, they did the climax, and then it was just.
Do-do-do.
Yeah. So,
and scene. Yeah. I didn't split it out that way, but I gave it an 8 out of 10. I kind of looked at it all, but for better, for worse, for all the things that you just said, which I totally agree with, they actually ended the series by accomplishing the quest.
They did.
In a D&D sense, yeah.
And I cried. I cried. I'll admit it. I cried. I had some emotions.
Yeah. I had some emotions too. I think I even texted you. I said, I got all the feels.
Yes. I love that, how realistic, what's his name? Will, when he was coming out. That's, people are like, oh, it was drawn out. No, it's not that quick for a kid to come out and in the 80s say, I'm gay.
You're right. And they made it part of the plot because, again, as I was reading the notes, and I didn't necessarily, but he said he did that so that he wouldn't have something that Vecna could turn against him. Because that's Vecna's power, just like Pennywise.
Yeah.
Because that's what Pennywise does and what Vecna does. Vecna siphons off the kids. Pennywise just murders them because he feasts.
Yeah.
So it's definitely more horrific.
He eats them, right?
He does, yeah. And he hypnotizes, but then he kind of does both. Because if you haven't seen the movies?
I saw the first one and was like, this,
that's
the
enough
blanket.
For me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But no, he does, and he hypnotizes some to draw power, but then he also just straight up eats he bit the kid's arm off. Yeah. So he does that. Wow. And then he uses terror, kind of like Kali does, to push images into your mind and think that, and then to terrify you and then to but anyway, you should watch it. I'm telling you should watch the show when the time is right.
Okay.
But yeah, there are people who can't handle that Will came out and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, it was a long time coming. They leaned on it in previous seasons, as I recall. And it functioned as part of the story.
Yeah.
So it works. So the controversy, as all controversies are done.
I did want Joyce to say something to him. Like, not that I know, because she's a mom. She knows, right? Moms, like, everyone else can tell. Mom knows stuff, right?
Yeah.
But she's like, I will always be with you, right? Like, that's fine. But she should have, I think, held his hand as he was doing it.
Right.
I don't know. It was just little things like that. So
right.
And then Dustin, Wes said Dustin's girlfriend who didn't show up after the third or fourth season, she just disappeared.
Oh yeah, the girl. That's the exact part that we were in before I came down here. Is that he was trying to get her on the radio and said he was picking up the Russians instead because that was the whole plot line of the season. The girl with the never-ending story. The girl from the Mormon. She's a Mormon from Utah.
Yes,
that's what it was.
So great.
Oh my gosh! But yeah, like I said, the 8 out of 10 that I gave it is because the tropes really started to pile up. All of the red herring, but buddy cop speeches. If it was 1 or 2, I would get it. But take a chance, make it count, do something a little bit more impactful. So
I also was disappointed in Harper. I don't know where it came from, but he has never treated 11 as Sarah, right? She's not made of glass. He knows that. But what he could have done was had a moment with her where he actually tells her how proud he is of her. Do you know what I mean? It was
it would have been another buddy cop speech.
Yeah, but it would have been a better, it was a missed opportunity for him, which then would make sense why he is okay with her, quote, death. Because that's so disjointed. He's screaming when she dies, and then he's all okay, my second chance to have a kid.
Maybe it's just not for me. But then he's
18 months, he's back to being a cop and so positive. I'm like, I don't know if that would she literally saved his soul.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was 18 months of therapy, even in the 80s. It would have been very forward thinking. But yeah, so I'm curious to see what happens next.
Yeah.
Naturally, people like you and me who do this, we watch stuff, so we'll see it.
Yeah.
But part of me just doesn't want to see Stranger Things turn into The Walking Dead, which they just couldn't leave well enough alone. Felt that there was money to make. And there's still people who will always watch that stuff. April still really loves all the Walking Dead stuff. I had to give up on some of it because I'm just like, this is so derivative. They're just doing the same thing over and over again. So I hope that doesn't happen here. Maybe all the content they make will fit and it'll be cohesive and it won't be too much, but I don't know. I don't have a ton of faith, but all right. Well, that's the show. This has been great. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Nope. Well, I can keep going, so we don't need me to keep going.
Well, I appreciate that. But yeah, no, thanks for joining, Joe. I think since we relaunched the show back in September, you've probably been one of my most consistent co-hosts. So I've loved having you on, and we've got lots of other great stuff to talk about as we get into 2026. So it'll be great. But in the meantime, where do people find you out there if they want to keep chatting about Stranger Things?
They can find me on Joe Colin Cosplay across all social media except for the X.
The yuck.
The yuck. I was like, what are we calling it this week? The yuck.
The yuck.
Yeah, I'm open to talking about anything.
I like it. Good deal. And same here. I can be found on all of the socials except the yuck as at the C3 THECEETHREE. I also run our Secret Friends Unite social handles on all of those as well, including our TikTok where I do my little kitchen chats, or sometimes I record from my office, or just talk about whatever it is that I'm enjoying. And that ends up on our YouTube channel as well. But again, visit our Patreon, patreon.com/Secret Friends Unite, or if you're looking to catch up on our other episodes, you can find those on our website, which is secretfriendsunite.com. Also, I've been trying to rekindle our email. We'd love to get a letter from you if you have thoughts about Stranger Things that are wildly different than ours, or if you just want to agree with us. secretfriendsunite@gmail.com. Drop us a line, and we may very well read that on an upcoming episode of the show. But with that, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to tell you, as always, that sharing is caring, and keep on trucking.
Thank you. While I cosplay hard and critique harder.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and podcast services around the galaxy, as well as video on our YouTube channel. You can support Secret Friends Unite by becoming a Patreon member, get bonus programs and more over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite. Join our Discord community for even more discussions on all things geek. For all the latest updates on Secret Friends Unite, make sure to follow us on Threads at secret.friends.unite and visit secretfriendsunite.com. Find our merchandise at TeePublic and Redbubble. Thanks for listening, and may the Force live long and prosper.